We're ready.
All right, cool.
Alrighty.
So we have a very, very special guest on the line, Mr. Bobak Ferdowsi, calling in from NASA, or maybe from home, but
Probably calling in from wherever.
from wherever.
Wherever he may
Maybe
go.
Mars, who knows. And I understand he is on the line with us now.
Hello.
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 Hello. Thank you so much for calling in to talk to us.
Of course.
So, I think you are pretty well known, but just in case, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and why you are famous on the internet.
Yeah, so you might know me for such things. I work on a mission called Mars Science Rock Curiosity, and on the night of landing, August 2012 now, I had a unusual haircut for people maybe at NASA, and there were beams and like, so that's me.
So we've got a blog post up about you, telling people who you are and to be excited about you calling in. We've got some questions that people have wanted to ask you in that blog post. So one of them was whether anybody else at NASA has started carving interesting designs into their hair in an attempt to win attention, and how well that may have worked for them.
So actually, believe it or not, I just got an awesome tweet from Tom who is a cartoonist, and he sent me a picture, and this is apparently a long tradition. I've seen, I think, this picture once before, but back in the 60s, some of the guys wore Vulcan ears during critical events. During the Viking missions, they actually had Viking helmets on. So I don't really think that I'm that out of line. I don't know of anybody else who has changed up their haircut for something in particular, but I think there was a mission that launched not long after ours, and they had, I think, rainbow color wigs on. So we like to keep it fun in NASA. I think people are having a good time.
You're carrying on a fine tradition, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So another question is, how should a new uncle, presumably the person asking the question, with two nieces, try to encourage them to engage in scientific and skeptical thinking?
That's a good one. I will give the example of my parents, since I don't know that I'm not a parent yet, so. I think that what they were always really good at was just encouraging the areas that I was really interested in. So I read a lot of science fiction, and they would always, go out and take me to the bookstore to buy more books on science fiction. When it came to like math or science classes, they were, whether it was their strong suit or not, they would also, try to help me with my homework and classes and things like that. Generally speaking, I think they were also really good about not just kind of giving me the answer, but helping me find the answer on that. Sort of a rewarding experience of itself. So I think it's the same thing that applies today. So I would say just go out there, encourage them where you can, encourage their strong suits and the things they like, and then of course I would say encourage that curiosity, because that's easy to sort of discourage by just giving the answer and being like, hey, here's the answer, go away, I'm busy. But instead, if you sort of make it like a challenge or a puzzle or a quest, kind of fun.
So other than your parents' obvious inspiration to be interested in those things and encouraging that kind of thought, what got you working at NASA in the first place?
Well, besides loving science fiction a little too much, I watched a lot of Star Trek, Arthur C. Clarke and Isaac Asimov when I was a kid. The thing that made me specifically want to do what I'm doing now was there was a 1997 mission to Mars. It was the first mission really to another planet since I was a kid, and the first time I'd seen pictures from the surface of another planet. And I don't know why that's so emotional to me, but there's something about seeing an object. Even this 1997 Pathfinder was no bigger than a microwave. It was a small little remote control car basically. But just the idea that humans had built this and then we put it on the surface of another planet, there's something just mesmerizing and fascinating about that. And when I saw those pictures and I was graduating high school and kind of like, what am I going to do? That was one of the reasons why I was like, I want to go work on those missions. Like, I want to put things on other planets. And I had the opportunity to work on a couple other missions at JPL, and I still think, as amazing as some of the science is, and in some ways maybe more we're learning more through other means, not just always, putting things on the surface of planets. There's just something emotionally very strong about seeing that human aspect on the surface of another planet, not just knowing it's there, but just kind of physically seeing it as well. And maybe it's kind of like seeing the footprints on the moon or something for the earlier generation, like my parents' generation, who saw the Apollo landings. Maybe it's something like that for them, but it was the same thing for me, seeing this little remote control car on the surface of Mars back in the summer of '97.
I think probably a lot of people in the room will agree that it's been amazing seeing the images coming back from the Mars rover and all of the more and more pictures that we have that you guys are able to share now.
Amazing. We take them every day and they're posted to the internet within hours of coming down from Mars. I mean, people can see them online almost at the same time we see them in the control room.
That's awesome. I also love its Twitter account. That is my favorite Twitter account.
It's got a good sense.
So that's maybe a good lead into this question, which is, besides the Mars Science Lander, what current or upcoming space mission do you actually find the most interesting, and how come?
That's good. So obviously we had Maven today, which is really exciting. There was a big launch this morning, and I sat in the dark room and watched it. That's really cool because it ties in really well with Curiosity. It actually carries a very similar instrument to Curiosity. And so we're able to kind of take directly the same sort of measurements between the rover and then this orbiter that will be kind of taking atmospheric samples. And we know that Mars has lost a lot of its atmosphere, so it's kind of interesting to understand why it's losing it and what the mechanics of losing the atmosphere are, and maybe how it used to look before. There's actually a really cool video that some of the folks at NASA Goddard put together on what Mars might have looked like 4 billion years ago when there's oceans and clouds and everything. So it kind of looks like this really cool place that you might have gone for a vacation. So that's exciting. I think in terms of just generally like what other cool missions, I'm really excited. We're working hard towards getting, I think, as the agency, getting back to the manned program from Earth. So there's the aspect like commercial crew, which is where we're going to start launching people on commercially available launch vehicles. But I think the really cool one is this Orion crew capsule, for which the first couple of tests come up next year. And that'll be the kind of the flagship sort of shuttle replacement that will be able to take actually astronauts out for nearly a month. So missions like the moon and places like that, or asteroids, might even be possible. And that'll be really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I love robotic exploration, but I also love the idea of humans kind of eventually moving forward and colonizing and expanding.
So are you someone who has an interest in ever going into space yourself, or are you just interested in that idea and like to work on it from the ground?
I mean, I love working on it from the ground, the safety and comfort, and having all the things that I like at home. But I would definitely love to visit. Like I would go for a week-long trip or 4 weeks to space. I don't know if you three-year trip to Mars kind of thing. That would be tough.
Dip your toe in. Somebody actually asked if you had heard of the Mars One initiative, which is apparently an effort to crowdsource the first stage of a manned mission to Mars, and whether you had an opinion as an employee of NASA and very knowledgeable about Mars on an opinion on that.
So yeah, for people who don't know, Mars One is, I believe it's a Dutch company. They're putting together a whole program over the course of maybe the next decade or so, a little bit more than a decade, where culminating in putting people on Mars. So they have a series of rovers that go to Mars to kind of scout things out. They have communication satellites that they put in place, resources that they're going to land on the ground so that when people get there, they'll have all the resources they need. And so it's very ambitious. I think they have a lot of challenges, and I've just seen sort of the idea of their architecture, which is a really cool architecture, and I think it's conceptually totally doable. I haven't seen all the details, and I know that they're sort of looking to fund it through basically like a Big Brother-like program where they're going to film the teams competing to be on this Mars mission as a reality TV show, and then have cameras sort of throughout the whole Mars mission itself as well that will allow us to kind of peer into the personal lives of astronauts and the first colonists of Mars. So without knowing too much of the detail, they haven't really revealed, of course, of course it makes sense. It's sort of a private endeavor. I can't say. I think that the timeline they put together seems really challenging. Putting people on Mars by I think 2023 is their first landing on Mars. seems so soon to me. Curiosity took us 10 years to design, develop, and then eventually land on Mars. Or about actually 9 years since I started working on it. So it would be impressive to see a human mission in that time. But I would love to see it. I can't wait for people to be on other planets.
This one, I guess you could answer it seriously or goofily, kind of related to your interest in maybe visiting space and dipping your toe in. What 5 things would you want to take with you into space?
Oh, that's a tough one. Gosh. Well, I think I would use most of them up on friends, because honestly, without the good company, it would be really tough to go to space. But if I had to choose maybe 1 or 2 friends and actually 5 things, I would probably bring a Kindle and iPad loaded with lots of books, just because I can imagine that a lot of the travel time things you might be kind of bored. I would definitely bring a camera to take pictures, because I feel like I would want to just share with everybody the excitement. And then I think the rest would be creature comforts probably. Just this is weird. I would probably bring protein bars, something to work out with, and I don't know what the last thing would be. I don't think about that one.
All right.
Laptop, probably a computer.
Always need that.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is just somebody being ridiculous or if this is someone you actually know, but there's a comment that says, "Hey son, this is your not parents. Will you be home for dinner ever at not Bobak's parents?"
I know there are also people. No, I mean,
What? Sorry, what's that?
My parents, as excited as they were for the landing, they still keep asking me when I'm going to get my PhD and when I'm going to have when they're going to have grandkids. So somebody made a parody Twitter account. Tell them I'll be over soon.
Nobody gets off the hook, even if you land on Mars. Are there any questions from the room, by the way?
I actually have a vital question that I've been meaning to ask you for a long time. Now, during the Mars Curiosity landing, in a few of the shots, you had a shot that showed the whole of the JPL lab, or the whole of the JPL control room, sort of like our NASA cam. And in the upper left of one of those shots, there was a table of what appeared to be sandwiches. Were they Subway sandwiches? And if they were, which one did you eat?
Oh my god! Again.
We were not allowed to eat in that room except for the peanuts, as I recall. So I don't know if there were 2 rooms that they were showing. There was our room, and then there was what we call the war room, the EDL war room. And that was actually, the EDL war room contained probably the vast majority of people who had worked specifically on the landing. And they were looking at all the detailed telemetry. And the team that was sort of in the control room had worked on the spacecraft and just generally understood various subsystem and components of it. I mean, we all understood sort of the context of that for landing, but that EDL war room actually had a lot of the people who just ran multiple scenarios of landing and poked at different things, wrote different software. We're looking at the aerodynamics of the landing and things like that. So they may have had stuff in their room, but I know our room, that our kind of a facilities manager was very much like, you guys, trust me, you don't want to look like you're eating on camera. And sure enough, and 90% of the video clips I've seen where I'm there, I'm munching on peanuts. I'm just stuffing my face with peanuts. So yeah, it was good advice.
Yeah,
should have
touch the sandwiches throughout the video. So thank you for answering that finally.
Can you please tell me something interesting most people don't know about working at NASA, specifically on doing the mission control for that kind of thing? Everybody's like, oh yeah, you push a button and you link up the thing, but how difficult is it? Can you give cool secrets?
No, I don't. I feel like so much of it has come out, and sort of we've talked about a lot of the things that have happened. For example, the landing happened with a round trip light time of 28 minutes. So by the time you actually, if you were to try to send a command, and by the time you would hear back, it would be 28 minutes later. But even when the rover is landing, from the time that you even know that it started the landing sequence, really, to the point where it's landed. It's already done by the time you hear the first little segment of that. So it's a little crazy. It's sort of like taking a test and getting the results later. You know you're done. You know what kind of the outcome is finished, but you don't know how you did. In terms of super secret things, I mean, there are the Lucky Peanuts, which are an old tradition at JPL from the Ranger missions in the 60s. I think my favorite one that we got away with, like a little Easter egg on the rover, was we had initially, when we first built the rover wheels actually said JPL across them. And so every time you would turn the wheel, you'd leave a little JPL mark in the sand on Mars. However, there were some people who were not a big fan of that. They thought that was unfair that it just said JPL on there. So our engineers cleverly, reworked the design of the wheel and instead put it in Morse code on the wheel. And so nobody really caught it until very late in the game, by which when it was too late to change things. So now when you look at the tracks of the rover on Mars, you see this little like square kind of dash patterns. And that's us leaving our little JPL mark on the sand still.
That seems like a pretty good Easter egg.
Is it like other departments, like catering, being like, hey, where's our wheel?
It may have been more NASA who was not a huge fan of that.
Just a couple more quick ones, and then I understand that you had something you wanted to auction off, perhaps, during your call-in.
Yeah.
A surprise
A
auction.
surprise. So chat, pay attention, surprise auction in a few minutes. What is the 5th most interesting thing about space that you know? I don't know why that's so specific, but...
Naturally. I hear that it smells faintly like metal, so I think that would be the 5th most interesting thing.
Cool.
Wow, I like that.
All right, and a final question. We've been asking everybody for a superhero. There's kind of a tradition. Sometimes someone will promise to donate a certain amount for every fact that we get from everyone who comes to the moon base or calls in, that kind of thing. So this year, someone is donating $7 for every superhero that we get. So you have to make up a superhero. It could be one that you want to be or one that you just think would be really cool.
Oh, okay.
And we need a name of the superhero and what its power is. Just
That's a really good. That's a really good one. Never been asked what my superhero would be. I have to think of a name. I would go with Brainosaurus, and I would be a giant Tyrannosaurus with like a huge brain. And I could understand all the dinosaur era while living in it.
Oh, so you'd get everything that happened and solve the mysteries from that time?
Yes.
Ooh, cool.
Tiny arms.
That seems like it would make a really cool speculative comic or short story or something about that. Awesome. So do you want to share what it is that you have up for a surprise auction?
Liz, a pic. I don't know if you guys can put it up or not.
We do. If you can go to the live auction page, it's going to be written.
But there's a ton of stuff. There's shirts. I'm looking over. There's sweatshirts. There's patches, keychains. My personal favorite is there is a pocket protector. That's pretty cool, guys. But I am happy to also get those signed by folks on the team and things like that. So definitely let us know if you want those things signed, or if you definitely don't want any signatures on there. I will.
That sounds amazing.
It's like that's the one you play with.
So chat, if you didn't catch that, it's up on the live auctions page on the website. It looks like we've got a water bottle with women in space. We've got some t-shirts, Mars posters, a JPL hoodie, a JPL Stein, keychain rings, a Mars ball with JPL logo, Mars ball with a curiosity drawing, Mars Science Lab logos, and a pen, a JPL Explorer era patch.
It's like one of those naked lady pens, where you like turn it and like lady comes, but it's with a rover and it drives across. It drives across like that.
Yeah. A naked rover pen?
No.
What would the rover look like naked? Yeah, the Stein's pretty. That's an awesome, and like he just said, he can get stuff signed.
Ooh.
So make sure you've got your donor account set up, and get ready to bid. Do we have it set up and ready to go, engineering?
There you go.
All right.
Can you get Curiosity to pop back from Mars so it can sign some stuff?
Sadly, no.
Oh.
Can you tread over it?
Yeah, sign it in Morse
Curiosity's such a
code.
diva.
Very.
Go ahead.
I said it's just very slow. The rover's very slow. It would take a long time to sign things.
Fair enough.
Understood. All right. Well, I think we can go ahead and open our auction.
Thank you, Simon. I wasn't sure if anyone saw what I was doing. That's when I was changing my shoes. Like Mr.
Yep,
Rogers.
that is it. Go ahead and open the auction. So this is the auction for the JPL Prize Pack from NASA, signed by people at NASA, and we're starting at $427.24, and now we're at $1,000. Right up to $1,000 immediately.
Oh, yeah, can't wear hats in the space bus.
Romemo, the griefer bid of 1,005. Good luck with that.
Love it. Love it. Wow!
$1,200
has gone right up to $1,200.
Wow.
Wish I could watch a lot more, guys. I feel like I'm just looking at you guys to try to like be more excited on camera.
Fimble Vetter with a high bid of $1,300.
that
$100 increase.
Oh, we've got some
Step
auction
it back with 1,400.
Another $100 jump. This is fantastic. Omegaleron bids 1 Gimpy life script.
Quintuple Madness! High bid of $1,500 to Scott Go Blue 314, and he says space.
This stuff is super cool.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There's some good auctions.
We get
there.
just nothing space there through straw.
You're sort of looking like you're in a spaceship, sort of moving from side to side there. Like
Whoa.
Don't with the high bid of
Look at
$1,600.
maybe flying through asteroids.
Homer
We
wants.
can stars things. Alright, we're at $1,600.
The biddings are getting slightly smaller though.
With the music getting more intense.
And the other bidders retreat for a moment to consider their options. Do they make a large bid now?
Into space.
And we're at $1,700. $1,700 from Joel.
Why, you little...
$1,750.
Show you how to bid.
Lock, I think.
New bidder for this
We
auction.
have a lot of bidders in here.
Now come back to us.
Sevens again. 1,800.
A lot.
And Whoa! 2,000. Right up to 2,000. People
Has
are
really
serious
not
about
messing
this.
around.
No, Doe is. Sorry. Doe is not messing around.
No, it's important sometimes though to do those shock bids and just scare everyone else
Exactly.
away. Let them know that you mean it.
I want this.
serious.
Boom, right up to $2,000.
He's saying, that mine!
Yeah.
Mine.
That me.
Mine.
All right.
Wow.
It might have worked.
The chat is recovering from the shock.
One of our bidders says decisions. There's some thoughts going on.
Music is too loud for the viewers, not for us, Corey.
Maybe they're waiting for a call? I think
okay.
maybe
That was
they're waiting
Ian.
for... Maybe they're waiting to get things a little more exciting, so we're going to say going once.
If there was ever a time to space bid, it's true.
Very space biddy time.
Well, you guys haven't accounted for the one-way light time from space, so maybe like it takes them a little longer for the signal from space, like all the space people who are trying to buy things.
That's true.
That's true.
Has our chat died?
Did we lose the chat? Possibly.
We're just
Oh wow.
we're just finding out if we have a little chat glitch we need to wait for.
Our chat can't propel bids of this magnitude.
It's too excited.
We're seeing chat over here, and you guys aren't, so
Right.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
chat is frozen.
I'll come over there.
What do we currently have a high bid of? No, mine's frozen too.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. All right, the monitor, for those of you at home, the big TV that we watch the chat on has frozen, but chat is not down.
Yeah.
So Graham is going over to engineering to call the auction from there.
So we will continue to be excited, but Graham will tell us exactly what we're being excited about.
2,100 our high bid?
I think so.
Well, call going once.
I saw 2,000. I'm not sure if there was a 2,100.
Can someone in the command chair
Yeah.
either call this if you're going to continue? I've been kicked out of the chat.
Jeremy's looking for it.
What am I doing? Our chat is.
2100 is top end.
Kara, what do you need?
By dough.
Doe currently leading the bidding. Oh.
I'm back in. We're going once?
Yeah,
Yes,
going
we're
once.
going once. I can't see it up here.
Okay.
On there.
Yeah, Graham, we're gonna switch this auction mode to engineering.
All right.
Grant.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Whoa.
Yeah, all right.
Is it back for real?
Yeah. It's catching up. It's catching up. Okay.
So there was a space bid from Doe up to
Nice.
2100.
Nice.
I'm now reading.
This is
Alright.
the appropriate angle to do this auction from,
It's
actually.
true.
Have we
It's
def-
very fitting.
Wait, that's-
Whoa, Scott Go Blue 314 has been up to 2200.
For space.
2200.
Looks like the back of the
Are we now back up on the main number?
Yes.
All right.
Do it over here. Thank you, engineering.
Greetings from
Riker
Mission
up to
Control.
2225 and then Doe back up to 2300.
Oh,
No
wow.
me. He said no me. No me.
No me.
It's mine.
This is awesome.
All right,
$2,300.
time to make those tough decisions,
The
folks.
current leading bid from Doe.
And I
Talk to the battle bridge. That is the battle bridge. We cannot separate though. That would be bad.
Doesn't work.
Next year,
No saucer separation.
you would have no cameras and we would have no switchers. It would be awful.
Also, Glenn would be pissed if we split our offices here.
all right, I'm inclined to go once at this point.
So am I.
Yeah.
Going once to Doe for $2,300
Anyone else
For
dare
this-
step? We know don't means business.
for this surprise JPL Prize Pack, courtesy of Bobak.
They don't.
Friend on the phone.
They don't need to step so much as they need to spacewalk this time.
That's right. And if
Can they spacewalk?
can you spacewalk? Can you walk in space? Graham is looking
What?
like he might be about to moonwalk.
Well, I'm just trying to remember how to actually correctly moonwalk. It's different than
On the
people-
moon.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta be the right
I'm
place.
inclined to say going twice at this point.
23.
What just happened? Ryger just bid himself up 3 times, and then Scott Go Blue outbid it.
Where are we?
There was 3 space bids, and then it was outbid.
Alright, so where are we at? Where are we at right now?
2,500.
Okay.
All going
Samus
once.
would be proud.
Yes. Going once.
It's okay, it was Ashton that did it, Karen.
Oh my gosh. All right. Okay, let that go for a minute.
All right, so Doe has the high bid $2,750.
Wowza.
That's a lot of space.
So much space. Holy cow.
If we get over
We're gonna go ahead and let that going once stand, obviously.
Yeah.
Because that snuck in there. But we'll give a little extra longer for Ryger and Scott Go Blue to get
bank account.
to check their bank accounts.
I like to think of all the bidders floating in space going pew, 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 pew.
Wow. The auction is for a JPL Prize Pack, which is to say a bunch of. Can we bring the picture back?
Everything
A
awesome
bunch
from
of
NASA.
cool stuff from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. This was a
Can be
surprise pack. You want to read it off again there, Tal?
We have a water bottle with women in space, the JPL Stein, a JPL Explorer era logo t-shirt, the Panorama Mars posters, a JPL hoodie, the t-shirt and hoodie are larges, the Mars Science Laboratory patches, keychain rings, a Mars ball with JPL logo, a Mars ball with Curiosity drawing, a Mars Science Lab logo, a Mars Science Lab pen with sliding Curiosity, a JPL Explorer era patch, several JPL Explorer era patches, more than one at least, and a pocket protector with the JPL logo, which is the pièce de résistance. That is all up for auction.
We'll deal with the feed thing that you're seeing. Someone in the chat was telling us there's a Twitch stream thing. We'll deal with it after the auction.
Yes.
We
And
got
that is
more
all
important
coming to
things.
you
All right.
straight from NASA and can get some signatures on it.
And to that end, we are going twice. Going twice to go for $2,750. And if Ryger is still in it, or if Scott Go Blue is still in it, or if there's another
Secret bidder.
dark horse bidder, now is the
secret
time.
pig.
Secret
A dark
pig.
hole bidder.
Dark hole. Ah!
2,800.
Wow.
Like that,
there it
jumping
is.
up $50 to $2,800.
Oh my gosh.
Space chorus screen.
Funnily enough, since we're talking about space, there's not enough oxygen in this room. It's too exciting.
All right, going once. Yes. There we
Right.
are.
Bobak, can you like maybe drop some credentials on us if people use
$1,000! Jumped all the way
my
up
God.
to 3,000.
Oh my
Doe
gosh.
says they want it more.
Which I would like to point out brings us into makeover, 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 makeover.
So yes, Bobak, can you tell us who might be signing some of these things?
I mean, we can get a bunch of people. There's all the people we work with. So
Sorry, what was that?
I'll ask around the offices and things like that. I'm sure they'll be happy.
Awesome.
Wow.
They're gonna travel around the JPL offices like you do,
Did we
and
do
they can
once?
sign.
Yeah. Okay, let's go once now. Going once for $3,000 to Doe.
This is so intense, you guys.
It is.
So Zed is saying that Commander Hadfield is in Vancouver tonight. Maybe we could get him to come to Victoria. Commander Hadfield was actually he was actually in Victoria the day that we started this year, but he's on a book tour and it's like his time is highly allocated. We were unable to make that happen.
All right.
All right, I think we are probably about ready to go twice.
I think we're ready to go twice.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Oh my goodness, going twice to Doe for $3,000 for the JPL Prize Pack.
You're gonna snipe. Do it like right now. Get on that.
Right now.
Sorry, what was that?
Right now.
Okay, better get that bell ready.
Yep, it's coming up.
Yeah, that's Would you like
You want to ring the bell?
privilege of reading?
right.
Don't do it till they say. Don't do it till they say.
We've gone once.
Important responsibility.
We've gone twice. I think it is so. Oh my God.
Thank you so much, everybody.
$3,000. Thank you, Bobak. Thank you, Doe. And congratulations on your auction.
That was great.
So, Doe, I haven't seen your name come up before, so what you need to do is you need to email prize@desertbus.org and say, hey, I won that awesome JPL auction, and then make your donation, and we will get that shipped out to you very fast.
Well,
So,
NASA
go onto the site, make sure you have
And
it
just
on
let me
there.
know if you want something signed and other things not signed, or what you want done. Maybe like those kind of instructions would be helpful.
Yes.
Great, sure, yeah.
In case that didn't come across, yes, your instructions for how, if you would like this thing signed, for how you would like it signed.
And it's been
There's
good.
already a GIF of ringing
Awesome.
it up.
Already gift. Well, thank you so much, Bitters. Bobak, thank you so much for
you.
calling
Thank
in.
you.
This is great.
Wait, so I heard that you're playing in a game tonight or something. Is that true?
It's the last game of the season for softball this year because we have wonderful weather in California and we can play.
Jealous.
It's raining here.
I hope you win.
Good luck on your game.
Good luck.
Off Eddie.
Good seeing you guys.
Merci.
Thank you so much.